Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Before I start this video, I want to tell you something. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe my channel and click the bell icon so that you get the notification of my videos whenever I upload them. So anyways, let us start our today's solution. So today here I am with another sum of ratio analysis. Here you can see these are the balances given, okay, credit balances and debit balances. Basically it is a liability, these are assets. So these details are given to you, and then they have asked to find out sales to capital employed, sales to fixed asset, sales to working capital, sales to total asset, stock turnover ratio, receivable turnover ratio, and creditor turnover ratio. Receivable turnover ratio can also be called as debt turnover ratio. Okay. Now these are the formulas which we'll be solving, but they have given some additional information here. You can see, first of all, sales credit means credit sale is given, cost of goods sold is given here 5,10,000, average inventory is given, credit purchase is given, average account receivable is given, as well as average account payable is given. These details are very important because these details will be used in solving this ratio. These are the basic things given. No doubt we are going to use the amount from here, but they are also very important. Okay, so you have to use this. These details are given, but these are of very importance. So using this additional information also, so using these details as well as these details, we will be solving these formulas. Okay, now let us start our solution. So here you see the first formula, sales to capital employed. Students, see the formula is mentioned here only itself. Sales to capital employed means sales divided by capital employed. So that is what the formula for this is, sales divided by capital employed. Okay, now sales, you can see in the question, sales is given directly. In the additional information you see point number 1, sales bracket credit. Though it is given credit, it doesn't matter. We will be taking this into consideration because there are no other entry for sales in the entire question. Okay, so our sales amount will be how much? 8,50,000. That's what I wrote here. You see sales, and then capital employed. Now capital employed is not given directly, so we have to find out capital employed using the formula. The formula for finding capital employed is simple. It is total assets minus outsiders liability. I'll repeat once more, you can note it down in your copy. Capital employed is equal to total assets minus outsiders liability. Now total asset means, you can see here, this is the asset side. So total of this is how much? 4,80,000. I wrote here 4,80,000 minus outsiders liability. Now here you have to be careful because you have to know which are the outsider liabilities. So in this particular question, these two, I'll just mark here, this bill receivable and other current liabilities, these two are your outsiders liabilities. Okay, so these two amounts given here are, you see, 40,000, 90,000. So that's what I wrote here, minus 40 and minus 90. So by solving this, how much I got? 3,50,000. So now the details that we need to solve this formula are available to us. We have sales as well as we have capital employed also. So now we can easily find out the formula by putting these values in their respective places. So therefore sales to capital employed equal to, in place of sales you put the value of sales, in place of capital employed you put the value of capital employed. So divide these two, you'll get the answer in 2.43 times. Don't forget, this answer will not come in is-to-1. Basically in ratios you used to put is-to-1, right? Like this, is-to-1. But in this particular formula you are not going to use that. Whatever answer you get, it will be in times. Clear? So first formula is over. Now let us move on to the second formula here. You see, sales to fixed assets. Now sales to fixed asset, as per the sentence, the formula is very clear to us. Sales divided by fixed asset. You see, sales by fixed asset. So as I told, as we have done earlier, sales we know is 8,50,000. We'll take that. But what about the fixed assets? So fixed asset, you will get it from the question. See the question. This is your asset side, this is your liability side. Basically it will come from asset side. These two are your fixed assets, land and building, plant and machinery. So the amount here is 1,50,000 and 80,000. So that is what I wrote here. You see, land and building plus plant and machinery I wrote the amount accordingly. After adding, how much we got here? 2,30,000. So now we have both the details. Sales we know, fixed asset we got. So we'll put the value now accordingly. So there is a formula here. Sales to fixed asset equal to, in place of sales I have put the value of sales, divide by, in place of fixed asset I have put the value of fixed asset, 2,30,000. By dividing this, what you'll get here? 3.7 times. Okay, I hope I am clear to you in both the formulas. Now let us move on to the third formula. Third formula is, here you can see, sales to working capital. Sales to working capital means sales divided by working capital. Okay, now sales we know, 8,50,000. Now working capital, so you have to find out working capital because working capital is not given directly in the question. So the formula for working capital is working capital equal to current asset minus current liabilities. So these two you have to find out from the question that is given to you. We can see from here you will find out current assets, from here we will find out current liabilities. Now current assets are stock, debtor, cash and bank, bill receivable. So if you add the amount of these four particular entries, you are going to get the total of current assets. So by adding this, how much we got here? You can see 2,50,000. You can add and see 1, 2, 3, 4. If you add this 4 amount, you'll get 2,50,000. Okay, that is our current assets. I'll repeat once more how I got current asset. I got current asset by adding stock in trade, sundry debtors, cash and bank, bill receivable. Okay. Now we'll find out current liabilities. Current liabilities will come from liability side. You see here, these are the two current liabilities. One is bills payable, other one is other current liabilities. So we have to add the amount of these two. So 90,000 plus 40,000 is 1,30,000. So that's what I wrote here. You see, 2,50,000 minus 1,30,000. If you subtract these two, how much you'll get? 1,20,000. So we have the details to solve this formula now. Therefore, sales to working capital equal to sales value we know 8,50,000 divided by working capital value we got here is 1,20,000. So we'll put the value accordingly, divide it, and that is your answer, 7.08 times. So third formula is over. Now let us move on to the fourth formula. So here is the fourth formula. You can see here, turnover to total asset. Now students, turnover means sales. I'll repeat once more. Turnover is nothing but it is sales. Indirectly we can say sales to total asset. Clear? So the formula is sales divided by total asset. So sales value to we know 8,50,000, isn't it? It's given clearly in the question, 8,50,000. And then what is given here next? Total asset. We don't need to solve total asset because total of the asset is given here 4,80,000. So we are going to use the amount from there. So I wrote here sales amount 8,50,000 from the question, 8,50,000, and the total asset amount is 4,80,000. So if you divide these two, I'm going to get what? 1.77 times. Okay. Now the next formula is point number 5, stock turnover ratio. Now stock turnover ratio can also be called as inventory turnover ratio. Okay, this stock can also be called as inventory turnover ratio. It will be same. Okay, now the formula for this is cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. Now if in your question these details are not given, you have to find out these details individually, but luckily in this question both the details are mentioned in the question clearly. You see here, cost of goods sold is given 5,10,000, and what else you need here? Average inventory. Average inventory is also given here. It's 124250. Got it? So we don't need to do any kind of working or calculation to find out these two entries. Sorry, these two amount. So we can write the amount directly from the question, 5,10,000 and 1,24,250 average inventory. So by dividing this, how much you'll get here? 4.1 times. So in that way we can solve this formula, stock turnover ratio, which can also be called as inventory turnover ratio. Okay, let's move on to the next formula. Here receive number 6, receivable turnover ratio. I'll repeat once more, receivable turnover ratio can also be called as debtor turnover ratio. Clear? Debt turnover ratio and receivable turnover ratio both are same. The formula for this is net credit sale divided by average receivable. Now here also, if the details of these two are not mentioned in the question, you are to do working and find out the details. But luckily in this question both the details are given directly. I will show you here. See here, sales is what is given there, credit means it is credit sale. That's what we need here, credit sale, right? Then net is mentioned here because suppose if there was a return, the return amount would have been subtracted from here, but luckily there is no return, so we'll take the full amount here, 8,50,000. okay. The next is average receivable. You see here, average receivable is given here, average account receivable, how much? 85,000. So both the details are mentioned in the question, so we can put the value directly. So that's what I have done here, 8,50,000 divided by 85,000. For dividing this, how much I got here? 10 times. So in that way I have done debtor turnover ratio, which can also be called as receivable turnover ratio. Let's move on to the last formula. Number 7, creditor turnover ratio. See, for debtor it was net credit sale, right? For creditor it will be net credit purchase. Both are similar but they are opposite to each other, okay? Credit turnover ratio will be equal to net credit purchase divided by average account payable or average payable, meaning is same, okay? Here also, if the details are not given directly, you have to find out by doing workings, but fortunately we don't do any working because the details are mentioned in the question clearly. Where it is, I will show you. Here you can see credit purchase is mentioned here, 545,250, 5,48,250. So we'll put that, I have put here, you see, 5,48,250. And then what else you need? Average account payable. You can see here average account payable is mentioned here. What is the amount here? 80,000. So I have put the amount 80,000 here. So divide this two, you will get 6.8 times. So students, in that way the sum has been solved.